One day, I was in my home, rubbing my favorite amiibo of Solid Snake, as I do every morning before my daily glass of ice. After Snake was thoroughly appreciated, I flew out my bed like a restless hawk. Suddenly, I realized that it was 2:43 in the afternoon, and I was late for my glass of ice. I skipped to the kitchen, making sure to only step on every other tile in the room because the other tiles were lava. Little do, I glided across the room to my refrigerator, my favorite item in the house, besides my precious amiibo of Solid Snake. But as I stared a mighty stare at this fridge, as the cool kids call it, I noticed something wrong. Strange, I pondered. This refrigerator seems to be missing ice. I looked at the ice dispenser with careful thought before pressing my weenus against the part of the device labeled dispense. Before I could even attempt a Germanic schnitzel yodel, my weenus felt a brush of cold, similar to that of ice. It was ice. I found the secret of the missing ice. The only problem was that I was missing a glass to put the ice, thus completing my glass of ice. Slowly, I pirouetted my torso around, reaching for the glass that I had kept in the glass case for glass. Had I known what I had just done, I never would have turned around for the rest of my life. The problem was that I did that. There was something duct taped to the fridge, right up against the ice dispenser. It appeared to be not ice, but a non-ice based item. I flung my glass at the intruding thingy, rejecting the notion of non-ice based products in my ice dispenser. Had I known what I had just done, I never would have thrown glasses at non-ice based products again for the rest of Tuesday. The refrigie sputtered and coughed, and the duct tape that once held this mysterious item seemed to fly off, hitting me in my left retina. Yanking the adhesive bandage from my cornea, I looked down at the thing. It appeared to be an old Snes Cartridge, cracked and yellowed, smelling of dookie and pee-pee juice. It's in perfect condition, I caterwauled at it. Minus a label, it seems. It was at this point I noticed that the game cartridge had words on them. It read, "Iron's Cool Game." Perhaps this was the new Metal Gear game that released last Tuesday, ported to the SNES of all things. My amiibo of Solid Snake would be pleased to see this. How this piece of plastic winded up in my favorite fridge was beyond me, but perhaps if I played it, I would finally be able to tell girls how oppressed I was as a gamer. My household could never afford video games, only the consoles to play them on, so now was my chance to finally be cool and oppressed like all my friends. I took the cartridge to my attic, where we had stored the SNES for many generations, one to be exact. I wiped off the stupid cobwebs from my SNES and took it over to the TV that Grandpa Cecil watched in his days in the attic. Pushing his corpse off the couch, I sat comfortably in my seat, throwing the game into the gaming apparatus. To my sadness, the game did not turn on at first when I had pressed the switch labeled Power, a switch that would be known for turning on devices when you turned them on. But after about 2.38 seconds of what seemed like forever, the system turned on with a pleasant. What I saw next shook me to my very testicles. It was a title screen, but not just any title screen. It had words on it reading Iron's Cool Game, and 3 things to choose from. New game, load game, die. I thought to myself, I certainly don't have any previously saved data. I should choose new game rather than load game, and that seemed to be the right choice. As the game booted up, I swore I could hear a laugh of sorts. Yes, I believe it was the infamous Titus laugh from Final Fantasy X, but distorted, as if someone ran the audio through a blender full of banana smoothies. I shuddered as I realized the sound, and quickly shat my undies. I sat there in my not-so-whitey-tighties as the screen blazed with a bright light, burning my right retina. As the brightness darkened, I could see a man, standing atop a beast made of wood. The wooden beast was a slender log of wood, with 4 circles below it. The man had a kind of confidence you'd see on the cover of a Martha Stewart Living magazine. I'd plow that gilf, especially if she made me snickerdoodles. He used his right leg to propel himself on his log beast, and I soon found myself controlling him. I pressed left on the controller, and to my shock, he turned left. Could he turn right if I pressed right? I thought out loud, and to my amazement, he did. Surely this meant there were evil afoot, possibly even the devil himself. I could see the images of the devil everywhere I went in this game. From the signs that littered the sidewalks, to the babies I would run over in my wooden beast, the cries of burning antelopes could be heard in the distance. Hyper-realistic blood would ooze out of my undies as I played. The game seemed to be running at 59 frames per minute, which made me puke in disgust. Words and numbers would appear every time I jumped in the air and twisted my wood in different ways. Ollie, plus 10. Kickflip, plus 40. Toe flip, plus 20. Were these the victims of this game's power? Had I really stumbled upon Satan himself? What manner of beast was my character even controlling? This didn't seem like that cool of a game to me. Why couldn't it be something really cool like eating swords? Just then, the game spoke to me in a demonic voice, and it said,
"You will be next, Garrett. You will become my minion."
And he laughed a terrifying yet jolly giggle. Garrett was not my name, but it scared me. I had enough of this torment, and so I flung my body onto the SNES. I grabbed a pair of toenail clippers and cut the wires to my SNES, and threw the game machine out the window, where it struck my father dead. I mourned the loss of my SNES, a single tear running down my urethra. I used to be a big fan of Martha Stewart, but not after today. I jaunted down to the kitchen again, opening the fridge to find a honey bun bunny honey bun. It was my favorite as it was shaped like an apple. That shape pleased me. As I vored the bun, I couldn't help but notice a parrot on my windowsill. It chirped and barked at me, as if asking for my bun. I offered it a glass of ice, but it instead flew away. But when I looked back in the mirror, I realized I was the bird the whole time. And now, as I burn in hell for my mistakes, before you make the same mistake I do, always remember to eat your glass of ice on time, because if you don't, you may be visited by Martha Stewart on wood with small circles underneath too.